Hello, this is Max Drake. Another thing, when I was looking at the 3D PDFs and JavaScript that I came across was some other ways of actually annotating the document to actually make it more relevant over time. I'm thinking in the context of something like facilities management, where you're using these models to go through, get information from contractors and all sorts of things to get pricing stuff from. I dealt with that in other videos. In this one here, one of the things that we can actually do is to add a comment. Now we can add a comment on the 3D comment that is actually in that object, and the comment might be this wall needs painting or needs repairing. And then beautiful spelling. And if you see, it comes through here. And if we look at the 3D comment, that's actually come through there. But there's another comment that we can do, which is the 2D one, that if we just bang in through here, and this repair has the date and time attached to it as well. So there's the 3D comment one that actually goes into the object on the thing, and then there's the 2D one. So if we're in 3D, if we just go and rotate round, you'll see that the 2D one disappears, but the 3D one stays in there. I'm not too sure if it actually comes in on the plan view, or if we just shift that. Oops. I'll just go back and isometric no roof. So it actually stays only per the view. So it's actually linked through to a specific view that is actually created to be able to display those things on. And the second one, the 2D one, is associated with that one as well. Now again, I can save that. So when I actually just open the drawing up again, those ones be there. You can actually go through and bin those, which I will do there, and they've gone. But as such, they can sit in there and hover. The other thing that you can actually do is that I found out about that I never really used at all, are stamps. Now there's simple basic stamps that you can use, and this one here is one here. Now there's a stamp there. Now I've only just started to figure these ones out, and I haven't played with them very often. So that's a very basic stamp there. Then there's a thing called a dynamic stamp. So it's actually going and getting information. And so here's the same stamp, but it's approved, but it's actually pulled my name out of the thing, and it's given the time and date as to what it is at this point in time. So that's quite handy. And you see that it's actually sitting in here, and it's just comments on these ones here. So if I just turn, if I just go to a different view, it's not there anymore. And if I come to that one, they're there. If I go into here and I zoom in, or I do something different with that view, it's gone. So it's only a fixed view where they're actually sitting, and then they're sitting over the top. Now, one of the things with the issues that I have some ways with this is that they're still live. So even if I save this and I close out of it and I open it up, so I'm giving it to somebody else, and somebody else comes and opens this up, they can come in here, and if I just go to view 6, go away here, they're there, but they can be moved around. So as such, they're not things. There is one thing which I've seen in here, something called flatten, where you can take those stamps and it sticks them into the PDF. But it only seems to work in the 2D. Because I've got this 3D object in here, it doesn't seem to be done there. So it's got some level of security in here that won't let me do that. I did actually have a couple of little add-ins that I found on a site somewhere to do that. I might write a post about them that I thought was quite interesting. The other thing that you can also do with stamps is that you can actually go and get your own custom stamp. So you can create a custom stamp, and it can be done from a PDF, or it can be done from an image. And so I'm just going to go back into these ones here of some images, and I can't see anything because it's got them as preset as PDFs. But if I go in and get a JPEG file, and I grab this one here, I can now use as a logo. Or you can also put some text, and you can actually make forms there so that those forms can be filled out. So this one here, now you also notice on here it's come for the whole page. So I haven't cropped it down to just this image size. So anyway, you can then put it under a certain category. I'm going to put it under a tag, and I'm just going to call it 111 just for the hell of it. So it does that. So it hasn't done anything there, but now I can come into stamps, and now inside there I've got a selection. I can now bring that stamp in. So I can bring that stamp in, and I'm just going to bring it in down here. The reason I'm going to do that is because I can then go back to that page there, grab, there we are, I've grabbed it. This is one of the things like that, and this is a problem with working in 3D. And then I can reduce it down and I can set it on there. So now if I save that one there, if I close it off and come back in again. Now, a couple of things with these is that you can actually have empty cells in here so that you can actually fill in information. The other thing that you can do is if you're using this for an inspection type tool, you can actually have them so it can pre-populate from an XML file. So if there's certain engineers going in and doing inspections on buildings and they've got their name, their ID and the date that it was done, you could get some JavaScript that could pre-populate those ones in. So they would actually just bring in a stamp of their own particular one, and that stamp would be their one there, and it would be a dynamic style, and it wouldn't be any of these ones. Sorry, it wouldn't be, we would do one here. There are sign-in ones you could do as well. So that one there is, you know, it's just an example of that sort of thing. Then there's also the fill and sign information here as well. That you can actually add a place signature, place initials, and do all of these sorts of things. So there you can actually pull in and have a lot of information. Now, where I can see this actually occurring, so plastic, that other one still comes through on there. The other one where I see this is a bit in change management. You've actually had changes happen to a certain building, and those can be noted and they can indicate where things. So that can be done either with a comment or with a 2D comment or something like that. And with the comments, you can actually get a 3D comment that will go into the object itself, or you can get a 2D one that floats on the top. So the 3D one is door frame mogadord. And it's got a bit of coordinates or something in there. So that actually, if you rotate, it still stays with that particular object, whereas you see the 2D one doesn't, whereas the 3D one does. So again, those can be saved so that it can indicate something that has changed. So from a point of view of change managed, you can actually have a lot of these stamps in there that actually just act as pointers to go forward to say, oh, things have changed in there, because you wouldn't actually just go and re-alter your Revit file every time you need to. You'd actually just gather a whole lot of things and then you'd just update a whole lot of models all at the same time. So as a communication tool, I see stamps and comments as being quite a powerful tool to use through there. And the nice thing is, because it's embedded within the 3D PDF, as long as you're actually transferring that specific file through to somebody else, you can store all of those changes in a place and then just go through and iterate all of the items that you need to do. So you just go to that particular view there and get that information. And maybe somebody comes through at a later date, in which case they create a new view. So they would actually go back to that one there and they would bring in some new stamps, and we bring in a stamp and we just show the approved one there and put it through there, and you'll see, oh no, it's actually put it onto that one there. So if we now save that one, that one's been saved through there, and that one's got that particular item through there, rather than on one of the other views. So I haven't quite got my head around those, and I do need to make a couple of tailored or bespoke labels to actually put into to put some extra information through, and play with those as another one. But just as an idea, I think they're quite a good tool for a bit of management. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've been doing. There are a few videos out there on the stamps and on the forms and the things like that. It's the 3D stuff that doesn't seem to be too available at this point in time. Anyway, if it's been of use to you, can you give a thumbs up? Thank you very much for watching.